Hey, what's up everyone? The New World Order is officially in the news. Now, this has been spoken of for quite some time. And as you all know, or at least you're probably aware of, and if you're not, I'll shed some light on it. This has been a plan for quite some time. During the Bush administration, and Clinton, they were pushed to create the Agenda 21, which was after 9/11 in 2001. Well, then, during the Obama administration, it was being forced and pushed, and the world agenda was taking place, and they didn't care about the people and our rights. They acted like it was a great thing, but they were taking away our rights and creating a sort of a totalitarian type society, dictatorship. They were creating control and creating fake chaos to create control. They're still trying it in the media and the world elites. But President Trump put a damper on that. And he tried to give the power back to the people. And they said they don't like him because he's a wild card. He hasn't squandered the secret societies. He hasn't, and Newt Gingrich stated that himself. Yes, Newt Gingrich, he has his, all of us have our problems and we all fall short. We have our problems. We all have our own issues. But Newt Gingrich stated the truth on Fox News when he stated that he hasn't squandered the secret societies and done all of that, and he hasn't colluded with the deep state. Well, the deep states in many of the countries, the real people in charge in many of the countries worldwide, have gotten together to create and push toward this Antichrist beast system. It's creating an allegiance or alliance of nations. And none of them talk about Israel. So it's just like it was prophesied about the world against Israel. This entire world against Israel. And even in this whole multiverse situation, we all know that each world we've been in has always been seemingly against Israel. And right now what we're seeing, even Russia wants to be the head of this. Envisions a multipolar new world order. It's in the news. The new world order is in the news. As the sun sets on American unipolar moment. What they're stating is that this picture here says 1,000 words for what the world is representing for the United States right now. Now, President Trump, they said because President Trump has been this wild card and has not worked for the world order, they're going to go against him. And they're working to create a unilateral coalition of nations. They said with or without the United States, the New World Order is moving on. And Agenda 2030, as the previous administration moved it to, or the Sustainable Development Agenda, sounds like a great thing, right? They say, oh, food, water, shelter, internet, phone access to everyone. Sounds like a great thing, but in essence, it's got an agenda behind it. This picture that they put here on this article of Russia Today News, RT News, showing this picture's worth 1,000 words. This picture here is a metaphor. It's like the sun is setting in the United States and that our power is at an end. It's the end of our meddling in the world affairs. As we see Korea doing more nuclear tests. Korea has a new strong nuclear weapon. Russia is rising into power. Just as I actually predicted back in 2011 and 2012, I wrote down an article that I wrote for myself. I didn't have a YouTube channel at that time, not one that I posted publicly on, but I did put it down in an article that Russia was working toward the Soviet Union society. And this picture here represents the end of the United States era in ruling the world, being the world leader. Now, this has been coming for quite some time due to the fact of our debt and the fact that we've been pulling away from since this administration. But what we were pulling away from was our own demise. And we've been standing side by side with Israel during this administration. Which on a biblical standpoint, and a prophetic standpoint, on a standpoint of God, he says if you stand by Israel, you stand by him. Go against Israel, you're going against him. And that's his policy. That's the policy stated by the Lord. That's what we're told. But Russia's foreign minister, Lavrov, has stated, the new centers of global power are working to build a multipolar system to replace the United States-led Western hegemony. All things considered, Washington should be relieved, they say. In the comments that were widely ignored in the Western mainstream media, of course they're ignoring that. They're not going to pay any attention to that because that's what they want. They want the New World Order. Russia's veteran diplomat dropped a bombshell last week declaring the demise of the Western liberal model of development, which he said is losing its attractiveness and is no more viewed as the perfect model for all, saying basically the United States is losing its ground and it's losing its view to this world. The diminishing enthusiasm over Washington's plan for a new world order. Now, see, if you read right here, Washington's plan, now they're bringing in the world's plan for the New World Order. Washington had a plan for the New World Order written since 1991, as I told you during the George H.W. Bush administration. Washington's plan for a New World Order goes all the way back since 1991, when Bush Sr. was in there. They had a blueprint for global domination that was mentioned by former United States President George H.W. Bush in 1991. It's not only confined to non-Western culture citizens of the Western Hemisphere, but they're also increasingly skeptical about Washington's unilateral ambitions, said Russia, or Lavrov of Russia. This is not the first time the Western leaders flirted with the idea of a new world order. Winston Churchill and Woodrow Wilson, and later they were all guilty of it. However, the collapse of the Soviet Union, it wasn't until then that American ideological arch-enemy, the plan for global domination, with the United States as the supreme authority, grabbed the imagination of Washington policymakers, he said. What's stating now is that Russia needs to step in, become the world leader. Their global empire was born. They're telling people about how the United States gained political power and how now Russia can take back power. Could be the beginning of the whole Gog-Magog thing. Although I am convinced that Russia would have preferred to cooperate with the United States and its allies, forging an unbreakable partnership at a time of global crisis, nothing suggested the West was prepared for any sort of bilateral cooperation. Now, President Trump was prepared for bilateral cooperation. It was the media and all of those buttheads in charge, those buttholes in charge that were instigating this trouble. You don't need to be friends with Russia. You don't need to be cooperating with Russia. Okay, well, they're saying basically we don't need peace between two nations. They want to cause the tension to make this administration look bad. And now that's causing Russia to say that, or one of the ambassadors of Russia to say that at that time they said it would have been great. They prefer to cooperate with the United States and its allies, forge an unbreakable partnership at the time of global crisis. They said nothing suggested the West was prepared for that sort of bilateral cooperation. What suggested that was these stupid media individuals and the stupid ones in charge that were going against this administration. Anyway, it had otherworldly designs. It was only concerned with the creation of a new world order. And those imperial ambitions, the dreams of foolish people intoxicated by the elixir of ultimate power, have media all over this world, for the better or for worse. All the difference. They have made all the difference. So they're talking about the New World Order right now. A New World Order and the Russian Care Bear. China versus a liberal New World Order. Canada. Global News said Canada just joined today a new alliance to save the world order. And the United States is not included. And Russia this week is focusing, according to the Middle East, on the New World Order. Check out who's involved in this. The Middle East, the Middle Eastern nations. They don't mention Israel, but the Middle Eastern nations, Russia, Canada, the European nations. It's just as the Bible has mentioned. They said in the news right now, a new world order, defense, Russia, Belarus relations, strange but true. Russia's foreign minister is speaking of a new world order, saying the days of the United States ruling are over. The Western liberal model has lost its appeal, saying that the West has lost its appeal to this world. Time for Russia to take charge and lead all of these other nations and lead the New World Order. They said that way people can have food, water. They said liberal has dominated free market, capitalism, freedom of action, more immorality. They talk about morals. What morals? They're allowing the murder of children, babies after they're born. I mean, they allow abortion. They allow everything. But yet, I mean, think about that. Children after they're born. I mean, and they call anyone that goes against that monsters. Anyway, at least that's what the media here does in America. I understand the rest of this world's view against that. I get that. The way the media acts is absurd. But they said that it'll give people clean water. It'll give people food. Communication access. They say, oh, it'll give people everything they need. Proper care. Health care is not mentioned, but they say the care of the people and each other. So it's a game. It's something that's been being planned for a long time. Something we've spoken of for a while. Something I've mentioned on my channel before. And you see it coming to fruition right now. The New World Order. And they're keeping the United States out of it. So we're not being a part of it. Could be good on the side of God, but it could be devastating for our economy and also our not just our economic stability, but our nation's overall well-being. But if the Lord takes care of us because we're standing beside Israel, we could prevail. We'll have to see how all this plays out. I don't know whether the United States, if another administration comes in, will suddenly join this allegiance. Basically, the beast allegiance. These nations that are against Israel coming together, leaving the United States out of their deals, out of their New World Order, taking away the New World Order that George Bush Sr. signed, then Clinton's, then Jr., Bush Jr., and then Obama continued, and putting it into their own hands, letting Russia lead it, basically, from what I take. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, and some more moments. Hopefully the storms miss us, and hopefully we're safe. We're on the national news as having some bad weather on the way, so I pray that it dies down, and we remain safe. So I'll bring you more news, and I'll recap about this New World Order thing. So the New World Order is here, but the United States is not leading it. Russia and other nations are. Peace, much love. My links are below if you'd like to support. If you like my content and you'd like to hear more, leave a donation to my PayPal and help support. And leave your comments below. Feel free to subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Bye.